What's going on, everybody? Yato here with coming at you with a new commentary. I'm just playing a little game called Brawlhalla while I go over new news in the gaming world, which would be E3. Tell me down in the comment section what you all thought of E3 so far, but I'm going to get into what I know is the news currently. There may have been some things I missed. If so, just leave them down in the comments section, but let's get right into things. I'd actually like to touch a base first on probably one of the first big conferences that were announced, which was Xbox's. So for Xbox's conference, there were probably a few big things that I thought were probably the most prominent. Probably the biggest one was the new announcement for the Xbox One S, which from the specs I've heard are actually quite amazing. I mean, I've looked up rumored specs on the PlayStation Neo so far as well, and this is looking even better than PlayStation Neo was. I mean, so maybe that's why PlayStation didn't reveal at E3. There might be another reason why they didn't reveal at E3, but my guess would maybe be they found out that Xbox was actually coming out with this powerful system and they want to compete. Now, you are noticing something big that is going in the console gaming world, and that would probably be virtual reality. VR is taking over now, and I'm not too surprised at this point, because it's actually getting bigger and bigger currently. Whenever I found out that VR was going to be coming to PlayStation, I knew at some point they're going to try to get, like, Microsoft and Nintendo are inevitably going to try to get a chunk of that pie. They're not going to be like, oh, no, we're not going into that. No. VR gaming is something that is getting more and more popular on the PC. It's going to get more and more popular on everything else. As you can tell, I'm not taking this game really too seriously. In all honesty, I wanted to play something that I could... Okay, yeah, I just killed myself on purpose, but... basically, but I wanted to play something that kind of leave me with some commentary for you guys. But yeah, the Xbox One S is looking great. It's probably gonna be, I mean, so far it's the most powerful console ever announced. Besides gaming wise, PCs are obviously stronger. You can get way better strength from a PC, but at the moment, I think we're seeing that the Xbox One S, whenever it comes to a console that you hook up to your TV, is the strongest so far. So that could be something that is going to be interesting. Now, something else that was announced that we've known that is going to be coming out for quite some time. I mean, for people not to know this about this game, I mean, it's kind of a shocker, and it's probably what Xbox has put as like their crown ship game this year, and that is going to be Gears of War 4, which actually looks beautiful. I mean, the game looks phenomenal. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I think you all should go check it out as well. Probably find some videos on YouTube and whatnot. Besides that, I think it's going to be a great game. I have currently an Xbox One right now, and I'm going to be getting a PS4, so I want to try to dabble in all of the gaming consoles and see what I can get out of them. But right now, I just have an Xbox One right now. But I don't see myself buying the Xbox One S. I'll probably be getting a PS4 first. Maybe the PlayStation Neo. Not quite sure yet. But besides that, besides Gears of War 4 and, I mean, how phenomenal it looks in my opinion, another big game that was announced that everybody has been waiting for and that is in beta right now. So if you do have an Xbox One, I would definitely try it out. I haven't tried out the beta yet. I might come at you all by telling you what I think of the beta. I won't be able to show you guys the beta because I don't have a capture card yet. I will tell you definitely what I think of the Halo Wars beta, which could be really nice. Halo Wars 2 is probably going to be one of the bigger games from Xbox this year, especially if you're into the strategy type games that are more like kind of like StarCraft. It's gonna be a phenomenal game. I can already tell. That's something that I'm really excited for. Probably gonna be one of the games that I buy. And then probably one of their best games that's going to be coming out is going to be, and everybody is pumped for this game, is going to be Battlefield 1. Now, Battlefield 1, I'm going to say, is going to be the shooter that I buy this year. Even though I'm not that big of a fan of shooters, I think Battlefield 1 and Gears of War 4 are probably going to be ones that I might just have to buy, just to buy them for the nostalgia. They're going to be good games. I can already tell they're going to be good games. And I'm kind of surprised because I haven't had really good shooters that have really fascinated me in a long time. I mean, I just felt like the shooter realm has been lacking over the years. And, you know, Battlefield 4 has actually kind of brought it back to me. I mean, Battlefield 1. Sorry about that. But Battlefield 1 has brought the nostalgia of getting back into a shooter back to me, especially going back to that era of World Wars. The fact World War I hasn't been done yet, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that does. But besides Battlefield 1, I'm going to tell you what I think is probably what was lacking with Xbox's conference, and probably the main thing that I thought was lacking in Xbox's conference was the fact that they actually announced a game that, I mean, it did well in sales, but let's be honest here, not that many people like Titanfall. I didn't like Titanfall. I don't know any of my friends that like Titanfall. No, but I thought it was going to be this amazing game, and come to think of it, Titanfall is not it. It's probably going not it's not worth it in my opinion. I'm probably not gonna buy it. For those who do like Titanfall, I hope I didn't like offend you or anything, but that's just my opinion. Titanfall 2 was probably the worst announcement at the E3 press conference. But another thing is, whenever it comes to the Xbox One S, I do not think that it is going to help Microsoft in getting enough sales to make them better. It's not going to give them enough sales to catch up to PlayStation. Nobody's gonna go out there and, I mean, they're not going to upgrade to a console. People that have Xbox Ones, I highly doubt are even going to do it. People who consider buying them might buy it. But whenever it comes to this generation, I really believe that PlayStation 4 has it up for wraps, and I don't see Xbox catching up. I really don't. Unfortunately, that is true. But besides that, let's go on to the PlayStation conference, which, in my opinion, was the best conference. And I am an Xbox player through and through, but I've got to give PlayStation where credit is due. They had the best conference this year. So let's just get into that, and let me just tell you why I thought it was the best conference. They have gone back to their roots when it comes to a specific game that I've been looking forward to for some time now. I didn't expect it in the way that it came out, and I'm actually really surprised about it, and that'd probably be the new God of War. The graphics look absolutely amazing on it, but they did something so different with it. It's not the same game that you think it would be. It's not this button-mashing, boss-fighting game from what I'm used to. Hopefully there are still bosses in the game, because I think games are really good with bosses, but we'll see about that. But other than that, like, I mean, God of War looked beautiful. They changed the entire mechanics of the game. It's not, the controls aren't the same, and it kind of has this dramatic feel to it. So they really wanted to go in depth more with the story, you can tell. Definitely they wanted to improve acting. They want to give you, basically envelop you in a world. They don't want it to just be some murderous slasher game, which I am actually impressed with. Some people are giving them, you know, a bad rap for it. I think it was a good decision on the publisher's part. I mean, it was a good idea for that studio to make the game that they're making. But besides that, whenever it comes to the PS4, they also announced, I believe, Crash Bandicoot, which was actually really interesting. I didn't expect them to do that. And bringing back a classic game like that is actually pretty cool. So I give PlayStation props on that. Besides the Crash Bandicoot and the God of War, probably one of the other things that impressed me the most was obviously their VR announcement. So one of the biggest things that they announced for VR was Batman Arkham on VR. Now, I'm really interested in how that's going to take place. In all honesty, I might be a little bit biased on this because of the fact that I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm a DC Comics fan through and through. Been obsessed with Batman since I was a kid. I mean, if it has to do with Batman, I usually love it. I am very judgmental whenever it comes to Batman stuff. Like the most recent movie that came out, I kind of gave that a bad review, but that's for another time. But this game so far, the Arkham games are amazing. I'd like to see how they bring that into VR. So what PlayStation is doing, it could be really interesting in my opinion. Because in all honesty, if you're going to do virtual reality, if you don't have the games for it, you're not going to do too well. And the fact that PlayStation's already going up one ahead and they're announcing such a good game, it's actually caught my attention. Now let me get into something that for E3 that wasn't actually that fascinating coming from PlayStation. Something I kind of judge them on, and I really think should not have been a part of their E3 press conference whatsoever, because they've done it. I think this might be the third year. It might only be the second year, but I know they've repeated this game, and that would be The Last Guardian. And really, they haven't showed us too much of anything new. I mean, if it's gonna, I'm really kind of worried about it, because I might buy this game because, you know, they keep wanting to show it in press conference after press conference. But if it disappoints me, I'm going to be fairly disappointed that they even put it into a slot on E3, because they have time and time again put this game on their lineup, and that's given me even higher expectations for it. So I guess we'll see how The Last Guardian plays. I'm not really looking forward to it too much, but we'll see. I'm going to get into it and go right into Nintendo right now, because Nintendo's going to be fairly quick, because Nintendo didn't really fascinate me whatsoever. One thing did fascinate me, and that's because I used to play them as a kid. The new Zelda game does look great. However, I don't think it was a smart decision to announce it with the Wii U. I really wish they would have announced the Nintendo NX, and coming to the Nintendo NX is the new Zelda game. That would have been their smarter decision. They did not make that decision, and it's going to hurt them in the long run. I promise you it will. They have to think of a good game for opening up the NX, because the console wars for this generation have technically already began, and Nintendo is behind. Unless you want to count the Wii U in that lineup. If you do count the Wii U, then they're even further behind. I mean, I know they're kind of close to Xbox One when it comes to sales, but I mean, they've been out way longer, and I mean, the Wii U just hasn't been doing good at all. So that could be a problem, especially whenever Xbox is now coming out with the Xbox One S, which I hope increases their sales, because if it doesn't, that's going to look really bad for Microsoft. And I mean, Nintendo can afford to make more mistakes than Microsoft can whenever it comes to gaming. But besides all of that, one of the biggest conferences that came out, and I'm probably not going to get into Ubisoft, because Ubisoft wasn't really that fascinating to me. One of the biggest announcements of all time was announced during the press conference for Bethesda, and that would be the remastered version of Skyrim. I wasn't really that interested in the DLC for Fallout 4. If you'll me be honest with you, I wasn't that fascinated in Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was a good game from what I've seen. I haven't even really played it, mainly because it did not look like the type of game I would have spent hours playing, just like I did with Fallout 3. So I didn't even waste my time with Fallout 4. I didn't see it as worth it. It wasn't worth it. With Skyrim Remastered, probably the most excited thing I am about it is those graphics. I mean, that game looks absolutely insane. They amped up the sound on the music, and it just sounds even more breathtaking than I've ever seen it before. And whenever I actually watched the announcement trailer for the remastered version of Skyrim, which was the last thing that they announced, which made it even come more out of left field and made me more excited, I mean, the water, everything. The graphics are breathtaking. I mean, this might actually be one of the best looking games I've ever seen. Skyrim was already beautiful for the consoles that it was on at the time, and this game looks absolutely amazing. I just don't see anything beating it in the graphics department at the moment. I might get back to you on it, but remastered version of Skyrim, yeah, it looks damn good. Damn good. I'm actually really excited for the remastered version of Skyrim. Probably gonna buy it as soon as it comes out, but besides that, the announcement that they made, I'm actually gonna quite enjoy this because it was more of the PC players who got to enjoy this aspect of Skyrim. I mean, there are people who do it on console, but nobody really wants to take that risk whenever it comes to console bans and things of that nature, is modding Skyrim. And let me tell you, they put some of the most popular mods from Skyrim, and they put it right in the game. And that's cool. The fact that they actually put a mods menu in the game for people to have fun goes to show that Bethesda was looking out for their fans in this instance. I mean, it's going to be an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to it. But besides that, Bethesda, I mean, I was kind of hoping for Elder Scrolls 6 announcement. I know that probably more like, I knew it was more likely to happen next year for Elder Scrolls 6. So maybe they're just holding off on us with the remastered version of Skyrim. Maybe we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 next year. I don't see it being a Skyrim 2. I'm just going to tell people that straight off. I don't see it being Skyrim 2. You can tell me what you think it's going to be. I'm thinking Black Marsh. I think that's the place where the Argonians are from. That's what I'd like to see. Like a swampy type place. We have no way of telling though. It's gonna be a good game. That's all I'm gonna leave you guys with. I mean, next year probably gonna be Elder Scrolls 6, hopefully. But this year, we get remastered Skyrim, and I mean, it looks beautiful. So, if they're coming out with that this year, hopefully, the new Elder Scrolls looks even more beautiful. So, Bethesda has to step up their A game on the next one. And, you know they probably will. I mean, that is just something that Bethesda does. That's all the news I have from E3 so far. There might have been some stuff I missed. I might touch back on it on another video. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And also, down in the comment section, tell me what you thought of E3, and tell me what I could do better to better this channel. It's been Yato, guys. See ya.